Hey guys, how you going? Hope you're all doing very well. This evening I'm going to be doing another movie review for you all, so hopefully find this one interesting. This movie is an action film from South Korea, Korean language English subs, released in the year 2023, directed by Boksoon, and this film is called Boksoon. So Boksoon is about a woman who is raising her teenage daughter by herself during the day, and she's a lethal assassin by the night. So she's trying really hard to juggle both lifestyles, but she's finding it more difficult to raise her daughter because she has a lot of problems at school, and so it's just adding to the stress levels. But then the stress levels are magnified when there's an issue that arises in her work life that is threatening to destroy everything. So whether or not it does is something you're going to have to find out for yourself, because that's as far as I'm going with my synopsis. Now my thoughts on Boksoon. You guys know that I absolutely love South Korean cinema, but Boksoon was not on my radar of must-watch movies. When I saw the trailer, I thought it looked entertaining, but there were other South Korean movies that I wanted to watch before then. So this was on the back burner for so long until I finally watched it this weekend, and so I didn't really have any expectations for it. Not many people talk about this movie, so I was hoping that at least it would be entertaining. And after watching Boksoon, I will say that I enjoyed this movie a lot more than I anticipated for a few good reasons. Now there are reasons why this movie is not top tier South Korean cinema, but if you like South Korean movies, this movie I'd highly recommend if you're after something a little bit different within the action genre. Now the difference with this movie in the action genre is that you get two sides to this main character, the assassin. Now being an assassin and killing people is a very foreign world to me, and a lot of these action movies you can disconnect yourself because it's a world that you just don't associate with. But this movie allows you to associate with this main character because there's a different side to her. She's raising her teenage daughter. It shows you compassion, it shows you warmth, everything that she's not by day. When she's doing her work, she's a lethal killing machine, but she's just not a soulless killing machine. You can actually see a different part of her, and that's something that I really enjoyed in this movie. And I really thought the drama aspect didn't derail what this movie wanted to be. Initially, overall it wants to be an entertaining movie, and it never really strives out of that entertainment zone, but it does give you, as I said, a little bit more because it gives you relatability to the average human being. So in a movie like this, I just thought as though it was going to be another John Wick, where it's all about the action choreography and the blood and the shootouts. But this movie has a lot of shootouts and a lot of blood, but it just has a little bit extra. So you have a different side of her, which allows you to relate to this main character, and you care for her even more. So her life with her teenage daughter is a lot more stressful. And so you could relate to that on the base where, although you're not an assassin, you can juggle your work life with your family life and how difficult that can be. And so this movie uses that in a really smart way, and that's what separates itself from the majority of these action sort of shoot-em-ups. Cinematography in this movie is absolutely excellent. Production value top-notch as you would expect from a South Korean movie. I thought the action choreography was absolutely phenomenal. There were two scenes that really stood out to me. One scene was set in Russia, and another scene towards the end of the film was set in a restaurant that I thought was really hard-hitting, very brutal, and actually darkly funny. So this movie doesn't strive to be a dark comedy, but it does have humorous elements thrown in there that actually made me chuckle. And that was something I really liked, and that's something that is very evident in a lot of South Korean movies. You get so much more than just a typical action movie. You actually get a little bit of a surprise in there, which makes watching South Korean movies so exciting. So although this movie was on the back burner for a long time, I was still excited to see it because I wanted to know what this movie was going to deliver. And as I said, it delivered a really fun time. So the acting was absolutely fantastic. I really liked this main character. The villains in the movie were fantastic. I really liked the family aspect for the company that she was working for. There's a little bit of betrayal thrown in there that really puts the cat amongst the pigeons. And so you have one side that there's a family that is bonded through violence, and another side that's a family bonded through love and compassion and worry. And I thought both families, as it juggles it really well, and it just explodes in a finale that I thought was actually quite memorable. And so all of it works in a way that I thought was really impressive, and I'm just a little bit disappointed I didn't see this movie sooner. If I have issues with this film, I thought as though the ending was a little bit rushed. With all the anticipation of, you know, what was coming, I thought as though it could have played it out a little bit longer. It's wham bam and then it's over, and then you kind of think to yourself, well, that was an anticlimax. I was expecting a little bit more. It kind of felt like they ran out of ideas and they had to finish it very quickly. But pushing that aside, that was the only issue I had in was, again, a very entertaining movie. If you want something that is going to have fantastic action choreography, really good character base, very good dialogue that's going to make you laugh here and there, some really brutal violence, and at the same time a character drama that doesn't derail the entertainment aspect, then Boksoon is definitely one I would say go out there and see. And as a result of that, I'm going to give this film 3.5 stars. Alright guys, that's it for my review. Until next time, keep watching movies, and I'll see you later. Bye.